What's up, guys? NepentheZ here, and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory, where today we are enhancing our gameplay through the divisions with the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, a formation that I have been thoroughly enjoying, and you guys are going to see lots of gameplay. We're going to post-com it, even though it was live and done on stream. I'm going to post-com it for two reasons. Number one, got some really good comments that I want to address from a couple of videos ago's RTG. But number two, even though I won almost every single game, I was salty. It was one of those ones where everything was tough. But I want to talk to you guys first and foremost, before we get into the gameplay, about something that I did based on something that Josh said to me during the Foot Weekly podcast that not only massively changed the way I built my team, but also massively changed the way I behaved in games. And you're going to laugh. You are going to laugh. But I really hope that this helps at least even one person. And that is making subs. And we talked about it a couple of videos ago. And somebody else in the comment section had said that what they do is they put their like secondary players in the starting 11 and then sub on their best players. Because the way this game works, even if you've got relentless and high stamina, I don't know if Lewis Skelly does necessarily. He has got relentless and he has got reasonable stamina. It's not necessarily about your players and what they have got, because I was subbing off players sometimes with like 80% stamina or 70% stamina still. But what I noticed massively, and you're going to see it in every single game here today, is that the last 20 minutes of a game after I've made subs, I am slaughtering people. Like, it's not even funny. I think I was behind in every single game before I made subs, and I turned around every single game. And I took the idea from the viewer of starting with some of the better players on the bench, because I like the idea of bringing them in to like close the game out. The one thing that's interesting about it is, because some of my players, like I've actually got a half decent team here, but because some of my players aren't perfect for the way that I want to play, we might, like, I end up in a situation where I'm using like Lewis Skelly at CDM. He's got really poor defensive awareness. He's actually a really good player and really fun to play with. But it's one of those situations where it's like, is Declan Rice over Lewis Skelly that much, or would bringing Lewis Skelly on be better, actually? But I was fascinated by how impactful it was, and I urge you guys to try it. And especially if you're running like accounts where you've got like multiple quality players and you're always putting your best players in. Like, on this account, for example, it's especially centrally, if we look at like, I don't know, that Konate as a centre-back. Let's say you've got Van Dijk and Konate, but you've also got two other like really fun centre-backs. Just making a centre-back change is really good. And the reason why even making defender changes, and I actually brought Ben White on for Tomiyasu almost every time, the reason why making defender changes was so powerful was because you've got fresh legs against tired legs. And so it just worked. But the biggest switch for me seemed to be the cam and strikers. And I ended up starting Havertz in the last couple of games that you're about to watch to sub him out. But almost every other game, I did have Robert Pires in there. And I ended up subbing Robert Pires on because I wanted that same benefit. But obviously, when I sub Havertz on, I couldn't believe how good he felt compared to everyone else. And he doesn't even have a Playstyle Plus. So in the gameplay that you're about to see, quite a few things are happening. Number one, I'm starting with a team that's not this regularly because I've been working on Evos. We've got Mikel Merino Evo'd up. We've got Raheem Sterling Evo'd up. I've finished, I think Alex Scott I finished. I need one more game on Tomiyasu. Gabriel Jesus only needs one game, I believe, or a couple more games. But we're like nearly there with the Evos and finishing them off. But what I did for my bench, other than Bukayo Saka, who I just wanted on the bench and I was subbing on in games where I was like already in control of the game, which actually I don't think was any, I've got a centre-back to replace a centre-back. I've got Raheem Sterling that can play either striker, or just striker actually. I've got Mikel Merino that can play centre mid or cam. I've got Declan Rice that can play CDM or centre mid. I've got Robert Pires that can play in that cam role. I've got Ben White that can play right back and centre back. So I've got really good cover for every position except left back. Logic dictates I should have Kieran Tierney over Bukayo Saka, and that way I've got every single position on the field covered multiple times apart from the striker, which I don't have anyone but Sterling. But it ticked a lot of boxes for me, and it's why I want to urge you guys to try it, because not only did it mean I could start other players and experiment and experience with them. But it just allowed me to kind of play with different players, not even just start other players, but instead of just having like a set of subs that I always bring on, I decided to just start subbing off like the most tired players after the 60th minute, whoever that may be, even if that was Trossard or I had Thierry Henry up front. Even if that was Henry, I was subbing him off. And in the game that I subbed Thierry Henry on, which you will see, and you'll notice Thierry Henry's not in my club right now, the game that I subbed Thierry Henry on, he came on and got, I think, a goal and 2 assists, or 2 goals and assists. And I was like, damn, man, that's so sick. And I know, like, this is why I say you guys are going to laugh, right? But I really urge you to try it if you don't already. Something as simple as making subs in a video game, I don't do it often because I can't be bothered. I can't be bothered to press pause and make those changes. But in this instance, I've never had such an impact from something in my life. Now, as I said, you'll notice that Thierry Henry is no longer in my club. I also only have 100,000 coins right now because I have invested in fodder because I just thought it was really, really low priced. So I picked up like loads of good stuff. I sold Henry for 1.2 million. I actually believe he is now selling for a little bit more than 1.2 million. No, he's down to 1.145. So he did go up to like 1.25 and now he's down a little bit. I sold him for the simple fact, guys, as to why I generally don't use extreme meta players. And for the simple reason why I generally don't buy expensive players, especially how many times we've been burnt this year already, is because he just didn't feel like he was worth 1.2 million coins. You know, he didn't have that je ne sais quoi. He didn't have that va-va-voom, you know. He scored goals and it was nice to play with Henry, but I want like a better version of Henry. When EA give him a better card, whether that's a Team of the Year card or like a promo card eventually, or if I just pack him out of an untradeable pack, then I will use him all the time. Until then, much like with so many of the players we've had, I'm using him and I'm just thinking to myself, this card is just going to crash. And there is definitely something to be said for like using players that you love to use out, like, and not caring whether the coins go down or not. But this card is just not worth 1.2 million coins. And I believe that over Team of the Year, with all these new cards getting pumped into the game, like loads of packs and stuff like that, I genuinely believe that Thierry Henry's price is going to come down massively to the 600k mark, maybe even lower. And that's when I'll either rebuy him or work towards a better version. So I sold him. I invested my coins in fodder. I'm glad I got rid of him. We bought him for 1.25, so we lost 50k in depreciation and 60k in, or maybe even 70k, no, 60k in tax. So it cost me over 100,000 coins to just play like 12 games with him. Not ideal, obviously, but the team we've got is really nice. And so let's go and get into some games. Right, guys, as we go into the gameplay, we are starting by finishing Raheem Sterling's Evo. He was one of those ones that only required us to play one game. And actually, a couple of weeks ago, EA had Evos in a really bad spot with how you were to complete them. You know, they had a mix in terms of playing and winning for Rush. Sometimes it counted Rush, sometimes it didn't. Sometimes it was champs, sometimes it wasn't. Sometimes it was rivals and champs only, so you couldn't even do it in squad battles. And it made it like, you know, these Evos are already quite long. It made them really, really difficult to kind of like play through, and it was really time consuming. The Evos that we've had this last couple of weeks have been a lot kinder on the restrictions or the way that you're completing them, which I'm really grateful for from EA, you know, because now it's something along the lines of like play 2 and that's it. And then play 2 and win 1 as the last tab. And it's like, it's a lot easier and a lot more freeing, especially when there's so many Evos and so many games. However, let's get some comments. The top comment from yesterday's video, and he came into my stream today as well to kind of like reiterate this point, which was always kind, is from Alan Iedri. He says, Nep, the problem is you're defending. You're not patient, and you move the defenders out of position way too much. This leads to you conceding silly goals and getting flustered while chasing the game. Try to be more patient and use your defenders as a last result. Focus on CDM defending. So first of all, you're absolutely right. My defending is generally and genuinely poor. I don't know why I can't fix it. It's really easy to say, just don't touch your defenders and tell you like last line of defense sort of thing. But every time I've like almost made a point of being like, here guys, I'm just going to defend with my DM or my DMs. my opponent will just play a through ball and my defenders will not track the through ball. They won't pick it up. And so it's really hard to like mentally adapt when, from what I see, me defending that way isn't actually having a positive impact, even if it actually is. And it's one of those things that I wanted to do many, many years ago, and it will still be fascinating to do in these days. But just kind of like track more stats. Like one of the things that EA don't do very well is track a lot of stats. You know, we get goals and assists on players and games played. We get reds and yellows. Other than that, we don't really get much. But I would love to have like a detailed kind of like spreadsheet for like a weekend league run, and just kind of monitor every single thing, what formation I came up against, how strong their team was. You know, we can assign a kind of like meta rating to each team based on the players that they had, what the result was, how I scored my goals, how I conceded my goals, what the possession was, things like that. And kind of have like a little breakdown at the end of the weekend league where I can really isolate some positives and negatives to either enhance on or like reduce. And it's the same with defending. Like what I should be doing is having like a 5-game spell of rivals where I defend the way I defend now, monitor those exact same stats, then have a 5-game spell of rivals where I go out of my way and really force myself to not defend with the defenders and just defend with the CDMs, and see if I've got a lower kind of goal conceded ratio or a better win ratio or more points per game on average ratio, and just see, you know, and kind of monitor those stats. Because if EA aren't ever going to give us things like that, we're going to have to do it for ourselves, aren't we? The next comment we've got is from Oakley. He says, please save some packs for Team of the Year, Nep. I am, don't worry. I'm going to be saving those 82x14s. And my aim was to initially build 5 league SBCs per day. I can't be bothered. So I'll build them like as and when I can be bothered. But yeah, I can't really be bothered to do that. But I will be saving packs that I pick up from Champs and Rivals, from squad battles, from objectives and stuff. I will be saving them. Oakley carries on to say, love watching you do a pack opening haul when the full Team of the Year comes out with the war chest of packs and coins you built up. I've started saving packs this week because I still get the thrill of chasing the first owner Team of the Year pool. For me, I love stacking packs and then using the fodder I get to complete Team of the Year SBC upgrades. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And, you know, hopefully we get some nice repeatable content through Team of the Year this time around as well. I don't know if I want to save everything for the full Team of the Year, if I want to open it as it comes, or if like something a little bit in between. But it is definitely time to start absolutely like padding up the club. And on that note, like I will be doing the 82x14s because I think they're just great value. But like that 80 plus by 3 of 10 player pick that requires 4 84s and then an 82 rated squad, I won't be doing that one. Like I think that fodder is just too valuable, and I'd rather like hold on to that fodder. And here you go, guys. You're seeing these games as well. Like, do what I mean with like being down in every game, coming back in every game. Like even that game before, I was 3-1 down in the 75th minute. I had made those subs. I won it 4-3 in the 90th minute. Absolutely quality. And here we are again. I'm down now 1-0 in the 73rd minute. I've made the subs now. And this is where Decky Rice steps in there. Very nice indeed. Tommy Asu looks for Robert Pires. I think I actually got a score with Pires here, actually. I can't remember exactly. Yeah, oh, no, I didn't. I got a rebound goal. Of course I did. So, yeah, I will be saving for Team of the Year. And I do hope I pack some Team of the Years. Like, you know, they probably won't be mainstays in the team, but they'll just be nice to have. You know, they'll just be really, really nice to have. What another rebound goal for me. Renoir says, by the way, great name, Renoir. Nep, why don't you set up tactics and save them in the team management menu instead of constantly changing your current formation? Laziness. Honestly, laziness. I didn't do it last year either. Like last year, we had the opportunity of having 4 tactics on the D-pad. I had like 1, and then when I changed tactics, I would just put that one in a new slot. So then I technically had 2, but I didn't really have 2. Just laziness. And then the last couple of comments that we've got here. First one is from Fugazi Queen. Yo, Nep, how do you think Arsenal have been this season, and what do you think they could change? Well, we got the same number of points after the same number of games this season compared to last season. We're still in the Carabao Cup semi-final, albeit an uphill struggle to get through to the final. We're in the FA Cup, of course, because the third round hasn't kicked off yet. We're third in the Champions League in a new group stage format, which is absolutely phenomenal. We're guaranteed to qualify now as well. So all things considered, it's been a really bad year. It's been really boring football from Arsenal this year. I feel like we've regressed as a football team, and it stems from the fact that we have got a very good back line with good depth, even if they do keep getting injured. A really strong midfield with good depth, even if they keep getting injured or rotated out or whatever. But a really weak, low-depth attack. And so I really hope that during this January transfer window, we strengthen that attack. And at the worst case scenario, in the summer, we really need to pick up like 2, 3, maybe even 4 attacking-minded players, because it's bad, isn't it? It's bad. We're just not creative in front of goal. Even though we're actually creating a lot of chances, it's almost through like brute force, and just like we're just boring, man. We just hold too much possession. I feel like anyway, you know, we're not progressive enough when I feel like it could matter. You know, so many times even against Newcastle, we had the ability to counter-attack, and instead the pass went sideways or backways, or, you know, it just didn't go into a direction where I'm like, okay, we could have just played 1 or 2 passes there and had a really good counter opportunity. So a bit sad in that regard. And then the last comment is from Luis Ocampo. This is kind of leaning back in towards like the whole defending thing and whatnot. And this isn't the first time I've heard this either. And I wonder why I do what we're about to read here. Luis says, you take yourself out of the game by simply seeing the opponent's team. Not every team is stupidly meta. Most of them are, with all due respect. But your point stands. And I do absolutely take myself out. Like, I beat myself mentally before the game's kicked off so many times. And I do find that I win a lot more games when I don't look at my opponent's team. Because even if I see an Mbappe, if I see a thunderstruck Mbappe, I have a different feeling to if I see regular Mbappe. Also, it's like fair to say as well, if I see a first-owned thunderstruck Mbappe, I don't get too bothered because I'm like, okay, you hit it lucky in it with a pack. If I see like a purchased thunderstruck Mbappe, I'm like, oh, for crying out loud. Because you've like actively opted to go and buy that player to put into your team. Not that you wouldn't want Mbappe anyway if you was like just packed in, but you know, you get me. And so the alternative is just skipping the team screen. But I think in terms of content, it's really nice for you guys to look at the team that I'm playing against before I go into the game. So maybe it's on me to kind of like maybe have to like look away from the screen and stop looking at what's going on. So here we are towards the end of the gameplay, guys. We do hit a nice goal there, and we do like I came up against some absolutely insane players today, and I also came up against some absolutely insane teams. And as you can see here, we was behind quite a lot. And what was interesting, you only didn't see 2 games. I played, I think it was 8 games. I won 6 of them, draw 2 of them, something around that record. And the 2 games that I lost were to the 2 absolutely mind-blowing, phenomenal level players. And it was like, I would have lost them even if I had like a top-end meta team myself. Like, it was just like, you know, I just got absolutely handled. And as you can see here, guys, I've listed up Thierry Henry. As you already know from this intro, he did sell. And so, yeah, we managed to not make some coins on Henry, but we at least managed to not lose more coins than we bought. And that, guys, is kind of going to be where it ends for today. Obviously, we get Rivals rewards tomorrow. I'm really up to date on this account, which is nice. We need to do the new rush stuff, but I've already finished the numero 4 foot. So we'll do this new rush stuff with whatever comes. In terms of seasonal, I'm excited for this stuff to come. But we're just in a real good space with that. For the numero challenge, some more things just to complete off on the upgrade completionist for England as well. But yeah, we're in a really healthy spot. I'm excited for this weekend league because I want to change formation again and try something a bit different with this team that is either going to be absolutely insane or absolutely atrocious. But we'll tackle that tomorrow. The new Evo that came out, what was it called? The number 8. Interesting one, guys. Unfortunately, it's only max 86. And the only players that it kind of works on for me is either Godfrey, which I don't think is a good idea just because pretty terrible, but she could become a good player. But obviously this gives her ping pass, which you don't really want on a striker. Boosts her passing massively, which you don't really want on a striker. Gives her centre mid, which you don't really want on a striker, but it does make her 4-star, 5-star if we put it on Godfrey there. The other person who we could put it on is Ibrahim after he goes through the Octopus 2. He fits on it quite nicely. We do have one other player that it works on from the Arsenal side of things, some of these cards are like quite interesting. And that's it, unfortunately. And that one player that it does work on from the Arsenal side of things, could do it on Pablo Mari, but again, pointless. Rekic's got too much physical by 1, which is disappointing. White, too much physical, which is sad. Tierney's still going through. But the one player it does work on is Thomas Partey, which is nice for a whole bunch of reasons. It gives him 5-star weak foot, which is good. He already had centre mid, which isn't so good. But for an 88 rated card, I actually think this is a really good card. You know, really good shot power and decent long shots. Really good sprint speed whilst being controlled lengthy. And I think we can get him to mostly lengthy. Vision, short pass and long pass are brilliant. And his overall passing isn't that high, which is really nice because that means if we get another Evo that can take him up from, say, like 86 to 88 or 89 passing or even 90 passing, he'll get that monster boost in short pass, long pass and vision, and it'll make him very good. It brings his dribbling up really, really nicely. His balance is still a bit low. His defending's good and his physical's good. And then his play styles are really good and his rolls are really good. So in terms of like making subs and stuff that we talked about a lot today, this is a good option. I'm reluctant to put it on Thomas Partey. I'm also reluctant to put it on Ibrahim as well, because I really, really like I played with like the crappers all day today. And I know you guys got a crappers video yesterday. There'll be another one coming in the coming days. But after playing with the crappers all day today, I want more of that. I just want more of that. And I want that on this account as well. So I am very tempted to kind of go and try and find a real core player that we could start evoing up. But let me know what you think down below, guys. As for today, that'll be the end of the video. Thank you as always for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. I will see you next time. I'm out. Peace.